Hi, happy day. If you're new here, my name is Miriam. I am a lot of stuff, guys. I'm here and I'm talking to you, and you're supposed to hear stuff from me. And it's gonna make sense in whatever way, and that is because, quite simply, I have gifts and abilities that a lot of y'all probably have. Like for example, hi. Oh yeah. If you didn't hear, Miriam is supposed to be seeing, hearing stuff from my face. 33 seconds in. Oh, that's better than usual. This morning I woke up with one after having a dream that I'm not liking. I'm working through my own stuff, and my dreams tend to remind me of that. Um, but then I hear the song. These words are my own from my heart song. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. There's no other way to better say I love you, I love you. Um, and I think it's just a big reminder. Because, like, whenever we hear that song, whenever we hear a lot of songs, we always think that they're talking about somebody else and not ourselves, or not the thing that we're trying to become. And there is so much that has been separating us from our words, from our stories that we tell ourselves. And a big one that we tell ourselves often, I think there was like, oh gosh, there was a post or a meme or something about, if I asked you to make a list of the things that you love, how long would it take before you say yourself? And whenever I saw that, despite being as high bangs, woo woo, whatever, as I am, myself probably wouldn't have even made the list. I wouldn't have thought of it as an option to put on the list. To be quite frank, I quite simply would not have even thought of it as an option. And I find that that's a thing that a lot of people have, is that they don't even really find it as an option. How are we supposed to love ourselves whenever we're never taught how to be loved? Especially because even if you come from a loving house and your parents love you and all the things, I came from a loving house. I still was never taught how to love myself. My mother was never taught how to love herself, so how could she teach it? She could love me all she wants. She could love me unconditionally all she wants, but she never loved herself unconditionally. And, I mean, she's doing better now. But she still has conditions. She still has things that she regrets in life. She still has things that she can't forgive herself for. And it's interesting that this has been the language that's been passed down, which is disbelief in oneself. People are always like, oh, well, you're being selfish. Yeah, I am. I am being ish. I'm self-ish. You're being self-centered. Yeah, I'm centering myself. And boy, do people get mad when you're self-centered and selfish, right? There are times that even we use that word. A lot of times the word is just used incorrectly because, quite honestly, most people don't even comprehend the word self. Myself. Those are two words. Yourself. Those are two words. Self-centered means that you are centering yourself, your truest self, and listening to those responses. And people do not like it because it triggers them. It lets them know, oh, I'm not doing that work right now. I'm not learning that right now. So clearly, I'm behind, or I'm whatever other ego that they got going on in their head saying that they're failing, or they're running out of time, or they're not doing enough, or they're doing too much, or whatever it is. When you're working on yourself and you're being self-centered and selfish, it then reminds them how unselfish they are being. And so then their ego is like, oh, well, let me get mad. Let me explain to you why I should be the one that you're listening to over all these other egos. You know what? When you take care of yourself, You're abandoning the people you love. How dare you only take care of yourself? Baby, if you die right now, I've said this multiple times and I've been told it myself, if you were to die today, whatever job you got is going to just replace you. The world will keep spinning. So while we're here, let's make our lives about ourselves and not what other people want. There's another thing too. I think it was Viola Davis that said, if it comes between, it might have been somebody else though. If it comes between the decision of disappointing yourself and disappointing others, always disappoint others. Because you don't gotta live with them. Even if you do gotta live with it, you don't have to live within the bounds of their body and their soul and their mind and their torment and the egos that you have to deal with. When it comes down to it, if you're worried about disappointing people, I promise you people are already disappointed. Even if you're great, even if you're amazing, they're disappointed how amazing you are. The people that you're feeling those things for, like that they're going to be judging you or whatever, they are. And they already have been. So what's really the difference? And then what happens? They say something about you? And then what? Okay, and then what? Eventually, nothing is the answer. And then nothing. What if? The what if ego is the least fun ego. There's the ego of, no, I did enough. I went ahead and did enough. I'm just going to go ahead and not do anymore. Even though you know that you didn't do enough. Like when you get a cut on your finger and you're like, I washed my hands and it's fine. But you could have put some Neosporin and a Band-Aid on it and you didn't. And you was like, yeah, it's fine. But you didn't even really wash it with soap. You just kind of like rinsed it off. And then it got infected. Well, yeah. You just were like, yeah, I kind of rinsed my hands. That's fine. But you could have fully washed your hands and done all your due diligence to make sure you weren't at risk of being infected. And sometimes we do all of our due diligence and we still get infected, and that's okay too. The point is that you get to sleep better at night knowing that you did everything that you could to avoid it, and it just quite simply was meant to be. And being able to sleep at night, being able to go to sleep and stay asleep and all of that is a really big blessing. Because sleeping processes so much. We get to dip into that astral plane and like recharge our batteries, our spiritual batteries, and especially people with uteruses who have fluctuations in their hormones throughout the month and have to release an egg every month. Unlike people with testicles and male traditionally XY chromosome genitals. There is a choice to release the seed. You can choose to release your seed as many times as you want in a day, as long as you don't give yourself a heart attack, And with women, we have to release our egg, our seed, or whatever once a month. There are certain things that are different for men and women. In the story of Adam and Eve, Adam was made from sand. Eve was made from Adam's rib. Now, since Adam was made from sand, technically you still made Eve from sand. But really, what Eve was made from was the essence of a living being and pain and suffering. Those working with feminine energy often do, or working in a feminine presenting energy, can often experience a lot of pain and suffering. I think that, a big reason why most people stay in the masculine energy is because it's harder to feel as much pain and suffering. You're still feeling it. It's still there. It's still collecting. It's just more of like, it's easier to distract yourself from it and move past it because you're not even messing with the lake at all. You're not even touching your emotions at all, except for like anger. And anger is a higher vibration than fear. And so whenever we get angry, when they say, get mad, it's because getting mad really does raise your vibration from fear and sadness. Jeez. I clicked on this. It's Home from Home. Mark Lilly. Looks like a small channel. I'm not subscribed to them. It has 171 views. Posted 4 days ago, 45 subscribers, 6 likes. First words are touch me. Screaming at me. Lordy, lordy. It startled me. Oh, this was in 2004. It was like a whole music video. +171 is another 9. +45, which is another 9. +46, which is a 10. It's a beginning. It's a start. It's a start of a beginning. And your individuality and spiritualism. You're special and you're different and you're just the same too. It doesn't matter what you do as long as you are true to yourself, to your passions, to your heart chakra and stuff. One day you will be out of the gruff. Okay? That's a little song I wrote for you just now. Anyway. Sometimes you just gotta say stuff. Sometimes you just gotta start writing stuff. Sometimes you just gotta start failing so you can start winning. Maybe you can start aligning yourself with how those things feel. Like when you win a board game or win a game of like Yahtzee online or something and how it feels to win. And then going back and amplifying that feeling and feeling that feeling and making sure to bask in that feeling. That's how winners are made. Because I'll tell you what, even if I lose a game, I'm winning. In my head, I'm winning. Anytime, I am winning. Only because I'll come up with some whatever twisted, messed it up. Oh, well, this is why. Really, the game, in order to win, was to lose. I win. Well, that's not true because I have a force field. And I'm immortal. You know? Whatever it takes to convince myself that I'm a winner. That could be considered a narcissistic behavior. Or delusional. Or whatever. And honestly, I'd rather you be delusional and at peace and not having to deal with all the energy that you got going on than, I don't know, dealing with the energy that you got going on. Dealing with the energy you got going on. Because let me tell you, it's loud, you know? And like whenever you're in a collective, it's almost your job to take care of yourself so then you can help take care of the collective. Because whenever you're not doing all right, the collective does feel it. Even if like, okay, look, I'll explain like this. It's like a wildfire. Even though the wildfires in one area, like in California, there was all those wildfires. Over here in Colorado, the smoke came over here. The smoke moves. And it still affects the rest of the people. And they were still, I mean, granted, not as much as it was affecting the people who had the fires at their homes and in their at their front doors, you know. It did leave a residue. Me and my best friend talk about, because we are highly connected. We have dreams that include each other, but also we'll see each other. We've been, ever since we met each other, it was like, and so, I don't even know where I was going with that. Anywho. Home from home. I don't know what that means. But it kind of reminds me of like I'm going home from home. Almost like as if there's like two households. Like a mom and a dad. Like divorced parents or... taking a home from a home. But you know, home is spelled Home. Homie. Anyway, I'm just fucking around now. Instead of saying, I love you, I love me, I've been saying, I love myself. I go through all the chakra words, understanding or comprehension, seeing, speaking, loving, doing. No, that jazz. But even being able to say, I trust myself, even if it's a lie, if you're going to be lying to yourself, well, one, you're not going to be lying to yourself. You're going to be lying to your egos. And they deserve to be lied to because they lie to you all the time anyway. Saying you're not good enough and whatnot. It's kind of rude. If you ask me, it's rude. And so, you'll go through. You'll start to be able to recognize where the egos are coming from chakra-wise and send them back. Access denied to the brain center, into the intellect center. Anyway, I keep starting stuff, like keep saying to do, and then like all of a sudden it's just gone. Almost like I'm writing something on a dry erase marker and or on a board, and I'm trying to write it down before it moves on to the next slide, and the next slide's already there. And I can't tell the professor to stop. It's very important for you to take care of yourself for selfish reasons. But if you can't do it for selfish reasons right now, you could do it for selfless reasons, which is, oh, well, if I feel bad, then I'll make the collective feel bad. And even if you have to guilt yourself into being nice or kind to yourself, that's okay too. It's a lot harder to actually start doing those things. Like, would you say the things that you say to yourself to other people? Would you say it to me? If I was coming up to you and I'd be like, hey, I'm just so upset. I had a dream that my man cheated on me. And then you're like, oh, good, because he probably should cheat on you. You know what? You're fat and ugly. And honestly, I don't even know why I was ever with you in the first place. That's an ego. All those but you wouldn't say those things. You wouldn't say those things to me. But yet somehow you're saying those things to yourself. Somehow you're saying you're not enough to yourself. Your feelings are validating thoughts. Being like, well, maybe that is true. Maybe you don't. Maybe I do deserve. Maybe whatever. Instead of like being so confident in yourself, being like, incorrect. In the same way that whenever somebody comes up to you and they're like, hey, and they're holding a banana. And they're like, this banana's purple. And you can see that the banana isn't purple. You know that it's not purple, but you're so afraid to like say, well, actually, I disagree. You're just like, oh, cool purple banana. Now you're confused. And everybody knows you're a liar. Or you don't know your colors. Whatever thing you got to do to start yourself into this, not just start yourself, because you've already been started, honestly. You've been started. But to convince yourself that it has the power, even with whatever 2%, 3%, 4% that it has, over the 100%, over the 96% is essentially like when yourself is fighting, you start out with like 3% self. And then 97% of the rest of that energy is egos. It's literally like 3 guys fighting 97 guys. Or girls. Gals. Confirmation bird. All right, now, you're taking them down one by one, one by one, one by one. You've been at this boss fight for a little while, though. There's this one thing that just kind of, whether it's this lack of trust in yourself or lack of trust in your intuition, because back in the day you used to like, you feel like back in the day you didn't listen to your intuition, but I'm here to tell you right now especially if bad things happen to you whenever you were a child or something. Even if you had intuition, even if you with having intuition and whatnot at a young age, the intellect doesn't understand the negative things of life. Whenever they, oh, well, something bad might happen, you don't know what the bad means. Your intellect can't connect with the bad means because it's not something you have been taught yet. You haven't quite understood, oh, this is that. And intuition, even though it is louder when you were younger, other things are also louder when you were younger. You are developing into a human. You're figuring out your body in a lot of ways. And I was a teenager before I even was like a little more coordinated. And then it took me giving birth to my first child for me to actually become coordinated. The mama genes kicked in or something. The mom genes. And because you didn't have the vocabulary for those things at the time, that means you also didn't have comprehension of it all the way. You comprehended some things, you comprehended confusion and pain and suffering, but that's like kind of just around. But what I noticed, especially with your life, there was like almost like easing into the pains and the traumas. I say easing in, but it's like was a lot of pain and trauma. But it's like falling and skidding your knee or something, and then it becoming worse and worse versions of suffering. And so it's almost like you have become so aligned with the energy of the intellect of suffering, but not the comprehension of suffering. It's easy to be like, oh yeah, any time of suffering and pain is a lesson to be learned. And it's like, okay, but what's the lesson? Don't trust people? That can't be the lesson, right? Just don't trust nobody because they keep taking advantage? No, that can't be it. Is the thing is to be like, oh, well, you know what? Actually, there's bad people in the world. It can't be it. It can't just be that. Because, like, sometimes we're learning lessons and it's just like a punch to the face. And then eventually we take it upon ourselves like, okay, every time I walk out in the street, there are people punching my face. I either need to wear a face mask or learn to defend myself. And then that is what prayer is. It's like, oh, I wish people would stop punching me in the face. But then you still keep putting your face out there. You keep running face first at people, eyes closed. And so that's what you've been doing this whole time. And you're like, okay, maybe let's open the eyes. Okay, I'm still running face first at people with my eyes open, and I can't really stop that because that's a cycle that I'm in. I'm just running, I'm running face first into their fist. Their cycle is to have a fist out. But now I can see my eyes are open, and sometimes we still run into the fist to be like, oh, that's where the fist is. That's what it was this whole time. It's been a fist? I didn't realize I just opened my eyes. Now I see it's fist. Okay. Well, maybe in order to fix this, I just asked them to stop having their fist raised up, to punch me as I walk by or run by. But really what you can start doing is start taking another route to that guy, to a place where there's no people with fists up to punch you as you run by. That's how prayer works. It's through action. It's through changing our ways. It's like, God, I want to be rich. But then you don't necessarily do things to make money at all. It's not even like, oh, you don't work a job. No, I mean, like, you don't do anything that's passionate for you. Because you know the saying, if you do what you love, you don't work a day in your life. Yet here you are, not doing anything that you love. It sounds like you want to work every day in your life. Is that what you want? You want to work so hard that you notice that you're working? Is that what you want? I know it's not what you want. And you know it's not what you want. 2444 as I say this. Quit ignoring your heart. Quit ignoring what you love. It's a lot easier said than done. Yes, I get it. It's hard. But guess what? It's only hard because of all the egos that you haven't worked on. And like, meanwhile, you're like, a lot of y'all are gonna feel this too. It's like, because you're always been the high vibes one or the person with deep understanding, it's almost like you're waiting for everybody to catch up with you before you start learning some more. They're not ever gonna catch up with you. Quite literally, like in the same way whenever I was living with my step family and my mom, my mom was there, my brother. But I had an older brother. He was 2 years older than me, my step brother. And I remember one day being like, I'm gonna be as old as you one day. And then I realized, somebody told me, yeah, but then he'll be 2 years older too. You can't catch up. Quite literally, they were just born before you. You can't just be their age. You have to live the years. So be patient with yourself. Yourself is growing and blossoming and blooming and doing all the things. Just quit poking and prodding at it all the time. Let it relax. Let yourself relax. I know it's a lot easier said than done. If you have any reason to comment and say, well, this is why I'm not doing it. This is why I'm not spreading my joy. This is why. I don't care why you're not doing it. I know you have all the reasons to not doing it. Okay? I know that. Oh, confirmation scenes. I literally give no fucks about the reasons why you're not doing the thing, because what they're telling me is that it's time for you to do the thing. Whatever the thing is. Even if it's stopping something. Or, oh, you know what? It's time for me to quit posting on Facebook. I'm done with Facebook now. Okay, done. You knew that was something that was hindering yourself from your growth. Now you know that. I know that there's plenty of excuses and plenty of reasons to not do stuff. Oh, well, these people are like brick walls. Okay, then be talking to a brick wall. Have you ever sat and actually went outside and talked to a brick wall? It's actually kind of therapeutic. It doesn't quite reflect, like, send the words back at you. It kind of like absorbs the words. Oh, it's like talking to a brick wall. Have some imagination then. Draw some faces on the brick wall. Figure it out. Because eventually somebody's going to walk by listening to the words you speak into that brick wall. And even if they think you're crazy for a second, they still might hear something that gleams. And now they're all of a sudden on the right journey. Do what feels right to you. Granted, I'm a 9 life path and I have a 1 day for birth. So a lot of people consider me quite argumentative. I consider myself argumentative too. I agree. I guess I should debate. But really, it's just 1 is about initiation, 9 is about finishing. Both of those specific things come with needing discipline, needing initiation, drive, and pushing through obstacles. That doesn't mean we can't still there's an obstacle come up. No, let's just chill for a little bit and save some energy and conserve and rest up. And then by the time that obstacle comes around, we're ready to take it on. In this society, you've been taught, no, keep going, or else. Well, then you're going to look silly and lazy. Who gives a fuck if you look lazy? Good, look lazy. Show them how good lazy can look. Because I will tell you this, the way that I post these are lazy. I post pretty much every day. I don't think I've missed a day. Maybe I have. But I literally come out of my bed. I throw on whatever clothes is next to my bed. Or near in my closet or whatever. If I'm still wearing the clothes from the day before, then I'll wear that. If I feel like changing, I will. I won't brush my hair before doing this. I simply feel if I have an inkling in the mornings. If I have a message, that's really if there's a little voicemail for me to speak. If so, I'll do it. If I don't, then I won't. And then if something comes later in the day, then it does, and then I do it. Even then, I'm not going to do my hair. I'm not going to get dressed. I'm not going to do too much editing. I'm not going to do any of that stuff because it was too much work for me. It was exhausting for me. But what do the angels keep telling me? What do the guys keep saying? You need to speak. You need to make videos. You need to do this. You need to do that. I'm like, okay, I'll do it. And I started making accumulations of all these videos of me doing things and talking about stuff and editing it down and making it into this and making it do that. And I was like, oh, let me post. I have to post however many times a week, and I need to do this, and I need to all the algorithm stuff, because of course people need to be able to hear my voice. If I don't know, turns out when people are meant to hear your voice, they'll hear it. When people are meant to see you, they'll see you. If they don't recognize you, if they can't see your energy, that means they're not vibrating with your frequency. And that's a good sign. It doesn't make the rejection any more painful because it feels like rejection, even though it's not. Like, quite literally, they just don't know the song that you're singing. And it feels like an attack on you, because how dare they not know this song? They're uncultured swine sometimes, and that's okay. And sometimes we are the uncultured swine of ourselves, because we quite literally don't know enough of ourselves to keep ourselves calm. We allow our egos to completely take us on these journeys of months-long sadness and anxious and all the things. And I say we because it's we. It's all of us. That's kind of what humans do. 3111 as I say that. So, anyway. Much love. It looks like all of our interview slots are filled for right now. I've got 6 interviews that we're scheduling right now. I've got at least 6 or 7 people who have messaged me or emailed me at synchronicitysagas@gmail. If you still want to be a part of it, you can still send your information. I can't guarantee if I'm ever going to do any more after this. First interview will be coming up soon, and I may do all of the interviews first and then post, or I might just do one interview and post it right away, and it depends. I don't know. Whatever ends up being the most convenient for me and the least taxing on me, then I will do that. But yeah, in the meantime, lovies, if you do have any questions, or if you're seeing numbers or whatever, you can put it in the Patreon's chat. There's a free Patreon that you can sign up for, and you can put in, I'm seeing numbers. There's I think 2 or 3 chats that are available to the free tiers. If you want to be able to message me privately, directly, without being in a group chat, you would at least need to get the 222 tier, which is $2.22, and then you could send me direct messages. Having one space where I have all that stuff really helps, so that I'm not going between all the platforms. There's lots of platforms in general, but whenever I'm wanting to go through comments, it's pretty difficult for me to go through the comments and filter them, because the way that they filter on YouTube is strange. But anyway, it helps me kind of go through there. I haven't had a lot of people in the I'm seeing numbers chat of what numbers they're seeing, and so I haven't really made a video on it yet. So once I have enough and enough compiled, then I'll make one going through all the numbers. But other than that, lovies, I'm gonna hop off. I got stuff to do today. I got a meetup today, so not a meetup, but an electronic one. I have a Zoom meeting in a few hours, so I will wash my pits and then I'll sit. In the meantime, lovies, y'all do keep a lookout for the numbers, and please, if you can, just a little smidge, can you say some synchronized or something?